Who's Italian, loves pizza, and is anxious a lot? This guy. Oh, and Peppino, I guess. Peppino Spaghetti, the pizza chef with crippling anxiety, in crippling debt, and there's a huge laser aimed at his restaurant. You know, I'd be freaking out too. For some reason, a giant floating pizza wants to blow up Peppino's pizza shop, so Peppino needs to climb the pizza tower to stop the laser, the pizza, and he needs to be quick about it. So quick that there's no more time. We need to get a move on. So let's see just how well Peppino would do if he were ever dropped in the world of Super Smash Bros. Peppino I see as a below-average heavyweight fighter. He'd have 2 jumps and would be able to crawl. Now to slow down for a sec, after we finish up, if you could leave any feedback about the moveset, what you liked about it, disliked, or what you would have done differently, I'd really appreciate that. And if you could also leave a like and subscribe, you may end up with some pizza in your future. I mean, it probably won't be free pizza, but you know what is free? Leaving a like and subscribing. Anyway, let's do this! Hysterical strength, a display of extreme physical strength by humans beyond what is believed to be within their capacity, usually occurring when people are in or perceive themselves or others to be in life or death situations. A common example of this is a parent lifting a whole car in order to save their child, though most cases do seem to be anecdotal at best. Well, Peppino takes your anecdotes and smashes them into the ground because the limits of his hysteric strength broke a long time ago. Despite just being a portly little chef, his adrenaline outputs are maxed out, making him way stronger and faster than he has any right to be. And having a little Toon Force in the mix never hurts either. That will all be on full display in this moveset, being a hard-hitting rushdown character, utilizing both flight and fight to make his opponents as anxious as himself. He's very momentum-based. You never really want to be standing still with this guy. You always want to be on the move. And if you're not moving, you should at least be swinging. And there's no better example of that than his jab. Being strictly a rapid jab, Peppino shuts his eyes, turns his head, and starts swinging his arms forward for a fun game of not-so-happy slaps. I got this idea from a scrapped attack that he used to have, though here it's a bit more pathetic. To watch. It's actually a strong rapid jab, all things considered, dealing heftier damage than most rapid jabs and launching foes away pretty far when you end it. Peppino's dash attack can be his headbutt, thrusting his enlarging, rage-filled head forward out of his dash. A pretty typical dash attack. This move comes from whenever he runs into enemies or from one of his grab finisher animations. His side tilt can be a quick, powerful lateral hook punch with his enlarging muscular arm. This is a move he can use against the various bosses he faces. Again, another fairly straightforward attack, if not a little rough. His up tilt, though, is more slippery. Literally. He slips on a banana peel, flips upside down into the air, then lands on his head. Yep, that's the attack. His whole body hurts to touch while he slapsticks, but his legs swinging from low to high deal the most amount of damage, launching foes into the air if his legs hit them, with the rest of his body acting as a sour point. Do note he doesn't go nearly as high as he does in the game. He kind of only just barely goes off the ground. Though him hitting the ground also hurts. Not Peppino, I think, but any opponent too close when he hits the floor, which will launch foes away horizontally. And to make things funny, if Peppino ever actually trips, he uses his up tilt. It's also his tripping animation. Diddy players, be wary of random rolling Italians. And not just for his up tilt. but his down tilt as well, having Peppino use his roll attack to roll forward twice, moving his position forward and knocking away anyone in his path into the air. Another pretty straightforward attack. Just like his side smash, as it has him do a powerful straight punch forward with his enlarging fist. Like I said, pretty straightforward. This is normally one of his grab finisher attacks. His up smash can be his rising uppercut, where he does a spinning hop, throwing his fist into the air for another pretty basic kind of attack, hitting anything above him while also shifting his hurtbox upward, though again, he doesn't go nearly as high as he does in his game. And for his down smash, he busts a move and starts to break dance. What's normally only a fun taunt in his game, here he dances to kick his feet back and forth multiple times, launching away anyone trying to cut in on his stage. And just for fun, a boombox actually appears behind him during this attack. It doesn't do anything, though it would be funny if it added some additional beats to whatever music is playing in the background. And if there is no music playing? For Peppino's neutral air, he picks Satan's Choice, which is also my choice, by the way. I love peppers on pizza. He uses the Pepper Pizza Screw attack, where he spins multiple times longitudinally with a hook punch, a move that will launch away anyone who gets too close. The forward air can have Peppino use his shoulder bash attack, where he swells his arm up and thrusts it forward. Another simple, albeit very hard-hitting move. His back air can show Peppino spinning with a lateral double hammer punch, swinging both fists behind himself at high power. This is another grab finisher attack that I'm turning into a separate move. I did see that there was an unused attack that was made to be a back air, but I like the hammer punch more personally. The same actually goes for his up air, having another unused attack that was clearly made to be an up air, but instead, I want this move to be Peppino's Fire Mouth Spin. Based on his Fire Mouth transformation after eating some hot wings, this attack has Peppino spin with his arms in the air and flames coming out of his mouth, hence the name. This move deals multi-hitting fire damage, catching and racking up a lot of hurt to foes it touches, then launching them away at the end of the move. A side note, as I said earlier, I love me some peppers, so I'd love to try those hot wings myself. Then for Peppino's down air, he uses his ever-reliable body slam, where he falls straight down to smash anyone below his rotund, pizza-filled belly. Another simple move, he will spike anyone hit at the start of the attack, but this move cannot stop until it lands, so using it over the blast zone will send him to the waste yard. Despite having more inspiration from Wario, I'll be giving Peppino Donkey Kong's gimmick, being able to grab and carry opponents around. He can walk and jump a single time while carrying a foe, though they can escape if you take too long, with them escaping faster if their damage is lower. He grabs by reaching forward with both arms just like he does in his game, and pummels by squeezing the foe, wringing them out like he would some wet pizza dough. His forward throw is how he starts carrying opponents. Using forward throw again after carrying them has him kick the foe away. Another grab finisher attack finally being used as a grab attack in this moveset. The back throw can have him use an airplane throw, where he spins then tosses the foe backward. The up throw has him uppercut the foe into the air, just like he does in his game. And the down throw has Peppino use his pile driver, spin jumping with the foe in hand, then smashing them into the ground, knocking them away. And you can use this in the air to just drop straight down with the foe, even into a blast zone to make Bowser and Ganon proud. Though, just like with the titular villains, if you do take an opponent with you, it's Peppino's stock that goes first. On top of that, foes can escape if they're quick enough, which will leave Peppino vulnerable, giving him yet another reason to be anxious. And do you really want to do that to the poor guy? For Peppino's neutral special, he almost wielded a gun. Yeah, for about 2 years, that is what I had. But a couple of months ago, I dropped the toppings from a pizza that I was eating, and it gave me a much more fun, much more pizza-y idea. He gets some assistance from the Toppins, living pizza toppings who Peppino needs to save and escape with from each level to earn a little extra cash. For this moveset, activating neutral special will have a Toppin appear in front of Peppino, which catches him off guard and makes the skittish chef scream, launching the Toppin forward as a projectile. Which Toppin appears doesn't matter, they all do the same thing, dealing minor damage to anyone in their path, but they will not disappear upon hitting anything. Instead, they'll just fall and linger for a bit, hanging out wherever they landed before eventually disappearing. Only 3 Toppins can be on screen at a time. Using the neutral special a 4th time will make the first Toppin vanish. Do note as well that this move is very hard to spam. Remember that Peppino freaks out each time you use it, so he will need a sec to collect himself each time it happens. In other words, it has a bit of end lag, so spamming it will leave you vulnerable. A pretty simple special to match the rest of Peppino's pretty simple movesets. But that ends here. There is one more thing to talk about with the Toppins, but I can't do that until I go over the beast that is Peppino's side special. Arguably his most important attack in the entire moveset. His Mach Run. This is what gets into the momentum side of this moveset. As I said, Peppino isn't only strong, he's fast too. Using side special has his hysteric strength kick into overdrive and he begins running forward, quickly building more speed the further he runs and damaging and knocking away anyone in his path, hitting harder the more momentum he has. He is able to initiate this in the air for a bit of horizontal recovery, but he can't gain nearly as much momentum in the air as he can on the ground. I should also take the time to mention his ability to run up walls while Mach running in his game, which is also intrinsically linked to his ability to wall jump, which you might have noticed I omitted from his movement options. Well, sorry to say that I'm not including wall running as a part of this moveset. He doesn't really need it here. If he runs into a wall, he crashes and loses all momentum. In which case, you don't need to hold the special button down to keep this going. Only holding sideways on the control stick will do that, though letting go of the control stick won't immediately end it either. He'll keep going just long enough to allow the player to buffer one of the many actions that he can perform during and out of his Mach Run. Oh boy, where to start? First the basics. He can jump during his run, though double jumping will cancel all momentum, so be aware of that. And he can turn, which, considering how small most Smash stages are, is the best way to retain momentum, as he won't lose any as he turns. Simply holding into the opposite direction on the control stick has him do that. Though turning, while his hitbox is still active, it does leave him vulnerable, so be careful when you do it. Getting into attacks, holding down while Mach running has him use a powered up version of his down tilt, starting to roll, and if he was going fast enough, transition into a slide, which is slightly faster and stronger. You can keep rolling or sliding by continuing to hold down, though he will lose momentum over time, but you can keep it by holding sideways again to cancel back into a run. Holding down while in the air, though, will have Peppino dive, where he falls with forward momentum. At any point, you can cancel the dive back into moving forward by pressing sideways, which you can do when he reaches the ground to keep running as well. Continuing to hold down when he reaches the ground, though, will have him move into a roll or slide. You can also cancel the dive into any of his aerials or an air dodge, though this will halt all momentum. However, if you use the down air specifically while diving, instead of his body slam, he does a spinning drop dive, which is faster, way more deadly, and always spikes opponents if it hits. If you tap up while running, he uses his up tilt, where he once again slips on a banana, but doesn't lose any of the momentum, turning his whole body into a flying hitbox, but he will lose all momentum upon landing. You are also able to cancel this into an aerial attack or dodge, which you may as well try to take advantage of since he loses all momentum anyway. If you press the attack button while in Mach Run, he'll use a stronger version of his headbutt dash. This can be used on the ground or in the air, and it will not cancel his momentum. Though, if you press up and press the attack button at the same time, he'll use his uppercut up smash, which will cancel his momentum, but this can also be used on the ground and in the air. If you press grab while running, he'll move into a sliding grab, which can also be used on the ground or in the air. Missing this will not cancel his momentum, but if he catches somebody, he will lose all momentum, but will start spinning with them in hand. If nothing else is pressed, then he just picks the foe up over his head like he would for a normal carry grab. But if you hold left or right while spinning, he uses his giant swing to automatically throw the opponent into that direction, acting as a sort of fifth throw that's much stronger than his normal throws. And during the slide grab, if you decide that you no longer want to grab someone, you can cancel the grab into any of the other Mach Run actions except for the dash attack. Now getting into special actions out of the Mach Run, while you can't use neutral special during it, if there's a Toppin hanging out, you can run by it to have the Toppin follow you, matching your pace and being able to have up to 3 do so if they were available. Treat this like a game of Centipede, as the Toppins, while they follow Peppino, do have their own weaker hitboxes on them. So even if the foes dodge Peppino, they could still get hit by the Toppins as they pass. All following Toppins will disappear though once Peppino loses all of his momentum, and will need to be brought back out with the neutral special to do that again. Now, it might be kind of hard to talk about the other Mach Run specials before I go over the actual specials first, so let's do that. His up special can be the Super Jump, a special jump that Wario wishes he had. Back to good old simplicity, Peppino jumps high into the air out of a crouch while spinning, knocking away anyone in his path, then goes into freefall afterward. You can charge this special by holding the button down to increase the jump's range and power. And while he charges, you can hold left or right to slowly move him into those directions to adjust your aim, though that part only works on the ground. Speaking of the ground, the super jump goes much higher when you jump from it. If used in the air, it doesn't go nearly as high. And considering that he has a much harder time getting momentum in the air, he's honestly way stronger when starting on the ground than transitioning into the air, and not so much the other way around. This does make recovery probably one of his weaker aspects, so bear that in mind. Now you can cancel the Mach Run into the super jump. At the cost of his momentum, the super jump is instantly at full charge, and it's much stronger and flies even higher than normal. Plus, at any point during the Mach super jump, you can cancel that into the forward air specifically, using an empowered version of the shoulder bash that's way stronger and actually launches him forward pretty far. This is very beneficial, as using the forward air out of the empowered up special not only allows you to avoid the free fall, but it also regains all momentum that you lost when activating up special. Though you can only use the Mach super jump if he had enough momentum to begin with, which, again, is hard to gain in the air. So while this could be a great recovery move, it may be hard to pull off if your opposition is putting enough pressure on you, hence why his recovery is generally pretty weak. And lastly, for his down special, he taunts. And if he happens to get hit while taunting, he counterattacks. It's not just sword fighters who get counters after all. Ignore that. It is just a basic counter. He taunts, doing a random fun pose, and retaliates with increased damage if hit during it. He is also able to use this out of Mach Run, and doing so will not cancel his momentum, but it can leave him vulnerable if you're too obvious with it. Also, yes, the Toppins will taunt with him. It doesn't do anything, but they do taunt. Now, who'd have thought that an overly cartoonishly pizza chef could have so much crazy tech? Yeah, just like in Pizza Tower, it's a series of simple moves that can be combined together to create options and combos that make things way more complex. Like I said at the start, you never really want to be holding still with Peppino. You always want to be on the move to retain that momentum and make your opponents feel as much pressure as Peppino feels every day. For Peppino's final smash, I call it Mental Breakdown. Inspired by his fight against Pizza Head, Peppino, having reached his breaking point, screams, then charges forward to try to catch a single foe. And if he does, he releases all of his pent-up emotions onto them with a flurry of attacks, racking up tons of damage while slowly rising into the air. Then ends by grabbing the foe and falling straight down to smash them into the ground with a massive pile driver, launching them away afterward. While this can only catch one foe, anyone too close can still take damage, and if they're in the way of the pile driver, they'll also be dragged down and launched away. And if you happen to catch a foe who's over a blast zone, Peppino will automatically drag the foe over the stage, even through it if need be, while he thrashes them in order to make sure that there's ground to pile drive them into. Peppino has plenty of official colors that can be unlocked in his game. Most of them are viable to use here so long as the spectrum is wide enough, but here are my chosen ones. With his default being his usual white apron and hat, his first color can be the Sage Blue, an apron unlocked by finishing the first floor of the tower in less than an hour. Next is the TV Purple Apron, achieved by doing the massive task of getting a P rank in every level. So yeah, good luck with that. Here's the pink Garish Cook Apron, much more reasonably obtainable by simply taunting 50 times. Next is the Goldman Apron, an orange gold color which you get by completing all of the chef task achievements in the game. Then is the Bad Bones Apron, navy with bone patterns on it that you get by getting hurt 50 times. You can bet your anchovies that I got that one pretty quickly. Then is a camo color apron, aptly named the War Camo, a color you can only get by beating the War chapter on your first try. And finally, instead of another color, let's give Peppino an alternate costume, specifically his sticky cheese transformation. He of course won't actually be sticky in Smash though, but tell me, if these were the options, which would you use? Peppino would enter stages by walking through a large door which slams closed behind him, freaking him out and making him regret all of his life choices. For taunts, his first could have Peppino lift his arms up to reveal a random food item from one of Jerome's rooms, with said item changing each time he does this. His second can be Peppino's little celebration dance that he does after defeating a boss. Sometimes you gotta take any small victory you can get. And his third can be his super taunt, where he quickly enlarges while doing one of 4 random poses. Super taunts were a screen nuking mechanic in-game that can only be done after getting a combo of 10, but I've decided against incorporating them into the moveset itself, so I think having them just be normal, harmless taunts is fine enough. I mean, unless you're one of those people that gets easily offended by taunts, in which case, can't help you there. But what I can help you with is showing Peppino's victory animations, and technically he only has one, but it changes depending on your performance in the match. Just like in Pizza Tower, they all start with Peppino's back to the camera, then he turns and strikes a pose depending on how well you did. If you did the bare minimum to win, you get a D. Doing a little better than that gets you a C, and better than that is a B. If you find yourself winning a match where you got hurt very little, especially compared to your opponents, you could receive an A. If you do so well that you don't get KO'd a single time, then you get an S. And if you are somehow able to win without taking any damage or losing any stocks, you'll be granted that mythical P rank. Just like the sweatiest, speedrunniest Pizza Tower players out there, I can see some of the sweatiest, try-hardiest Smash players grinding hours to get that P rank. And just like with the speedruns, it'd be spectacular to watch. And that does it for What If Peppino Spaghetti was in Smash. Now, I'd like to give a huge shout out to my Tier 3 and 4 channel members. A big thank you to Your Everyday Ray, Mariotron, Brightly, Mr. Maniac, Gerardo Restero, The North and Only, Michael the Oro Wizard, Levi, Nether T Hedgehog, White Oak 019, and DJ Chiro. If you want to support the show as well, you can also become a member of my channel, and depending on the tier you join, you get a fun variety of rewards, including getting your name listed in my videos, even shouted out, and also getting your own BF1 head icon personally made by me to you. You get access to channel emotes, entry to my Discord server where you could also join my voice calls whenever I stream games, and even access to member-exclusive live streams where I build popular character movesets in real time. On top of that and more, if you're willing to be a Tier 4 member for a combined year, I'll make a moveset and a video of your personal pick. Of course, if you simply enjoy this moveset and don't want to miss out on more, be sure to like and subscribe. And when you comment, tell me what character you'd like to see given a possible Smash moveset. And while you're at it, feel free to give me any feedback about Peppino's moveset and share your own ideas about him as well. I'd love to hear them. So, I hope you all enjoyed, and thank you so much for watching!